Chapter 1. Leo loved space more than anything. He didn't just like it, he really loved it. His room looked like a tiny space station. There were rocket ships on his shelves, planets hanging from the ceiling, and glow-in-the-dark stars on the walls. Even his bed sheets had little astronauts floating around with happy faces. Every night before bed, Leo read a space book. He knew all the planets in order, could name 5 constellations, and even knew what NASA stood for. He liked to say it out loud: National, Aeronautics, and Space Administration. Then he'd giggle and say, "That's a mouthful." Leo would tell everyone who would listen, "When I grow up, I'm going to be an astronaut." His mom would smile and say, "You'd be a great one, sweetheart." His dad would grin and ask, "Will you take me to the moon?" Even his dog, Crater, wore a tiny cardboard space helmet. Leo had made it himself with glue and glitter. One night, after brushing his teeth and reading a book about rocket launches, Leo climbed into bed and looked up at the stars stuck to his ceiling. They glowed soft and yellow like sleepy fireflies. "I wish I could go to space right now," he whispered. He snuggled under his blanket and closed his eyes. Just as he was drifting off to sleep, boosh! Strange noise shook the house. Leo's eyes popped open. "What was that?" he whispered. He sat up and looked out the window. His jaw dropped. There was a rocket ship in his backyard. It was round and shiny, with blinking purple lights and tiny feet like robot claws. Steam hissed out from under it. The rocket gave a little wobble and then settled down in the grass. Then, a door slid open with a soft whoosh. A tiny creature waddled out. It looked kind of like a jelly bean with eyes, wearing sparkly boots. It blinked up at Leo's window and waved. Leo blinked back. The creature cupped its mouth and called out in a silly, squeaky voice, "Hey you, with the spacey room, I need your help." Leo gasped. His dream might be starting right now. Chapter 2. Leo couldn't believe his eyes. There was a rocket ship in his backyard. He rubbed his eyes once, then again. Nope, it was still there, blinking lights, steam puffs, and a wobbly little landing ramp, and the jelly bean-shaped alien still waving. Leo scrambled out of bed and tiptoed to his window. He pressed his nose to the glass. "Hello!" the alien squeaked from below. "Earth boy, space toy, come outside! I need your help!" Leo's heart thumped. "Mom? Dad?" he whispered into the hallway. But the house was quiet, too quiet. Even Crater the dog was snoring. He turned back to the window. The alien did a twirl and yelled, "I'm not here to abduct your socks or eat your cereal. I'm on a mission, a super spacey mission." Leo couldn't resist. He grabbed his space backpack, the one with snacks, a flashlight, and a bouncy ball, just in case, slid on his slippers and crept outside. The grass was cool and tickled his feet. The rocket hummed gently like a purring cat. The alien bounced excitedly. "You made it!" the alien cheered. "I'm Zarnook from the planet Glimmeron." "I'm Leo," he whispered. "Are you really from space?" "Yup," Zarnook said proudly. "And I need someone brave, clever, and small enough to fit in the co-pilot seat." "You're perfect," Leo grinned. "What kind of mission?" "Our star crystals are fading. They power everything on my planet, even the ice cream machines. Without them, we'll have total gloominess and grumpy glimmers." Leo's eyes widened. "No ice cream? That's serious?" "Exactly," Zarnook nodded. "So will you help me?" Leo looked up at the rocket, then down at his fuzzy slippers. "Okay," he said. "Let's save your planet." "Woohoo!" Zarnook did a happy flip. "Hop aboard, Captain Leo." Leo climbed the little ramp, heart pounding. Inside, the ship was full of blinking buttons and squishy chairs. Everything smelled like cinnamon and space dust. "Buckle up," Zarnook called out as the doors closed. The ship began to rumble. Leo grabbed his backpack tight. "This is it," he whispered. "I'm really going to space." And with a great big whoosh, they blasted off into the stars. Chapter 3. The stars zoomed by the windows like tiny glowing fireflies. Leo sat in the co-pilot seat, hugging his backpack and grinning from ear to ear. "This is amazing," he whispered. Zarnook was flipping switches and poking jelly-like buttons with his squishy fingers. "Welcome to the Zarzoom 9000, Zarnook said proudly. "Top speed, faster than a sneeze in a hurricane." The ship wiggled a little, then made a sound like a hiccup. "Hic snap!" "Is that normal?" Leo asked. "Totally," Zarnook said, looking slightly upside down. They zoomed past a planet shaped like a pancake. A space whale waved at them with its giant tail. A meteor with a mustache floated by holding a cup of tea. "Did that space rock just wink at me?" Leo asked. Probably. Zarnuk shrugged. Space is weird, you'll get used to it. Soon, a sparkling purple planet came into view. Behold, Zarnuk announced. Glimmeron, the land of lights, laughter, and wiggly socks. The planet glittered like a disco ball, swirls of green and blue clouds wrapped around it like a cotton candy hug. But something wasn't right. As they got closer, Leo noticed the twinkling lights were dim. Some parts of the planet looked like they were flickering, like a nightlight running out of battery. We're losing glow, Zarnuk said sadly. The star crystals are fading. Where do we start? Leo asked, sitting up straight. We have to find the 3 crystals of glimmer power, but they're hidden in the most tricky places. Zarnuk pulled out a glittery map that sang a little tune every time he opened it. Our first stop is the maze of moon noodles, he said. But be warned, it's guarded by a very sneaky space creature who loves riddles. I love riddles, Leo said. Well, I like them when I get the answers right. The ship landed on a bouncy purple hill. The doors opened with a soft pop and warm, sparkly air filled the cabin. Grab your backpack, Captain Leo, Zarnuk said with a wink. Adventure number 1 begins now, Leo smiled. Let's find those crystals and save your planet. They stepped out together into the shimmering world of Glimmeron, where silly things were serious and serious things were really silly. Chapter 4, Leo stepped onto the soft, squishy ground of Glimmeron. It felt like walking on marshmallows dipped in jelly. Ooh, Leo said, bouncing gently. Your planet is bouncy. We like comfy landings, Zarnuk said, springing beside him like a pogo stick. Follow me, we need to get to the maze of moon noodles. They bounced past glowing trees, singing mushrooms, and a wiggly creature that looked like a banana with legs. It gave Leo a polite wave and sneezed glitter. Soon they stood in front of a tall maze made of twisty noodles that glowed pale blue. This, Zarnuk whispered, is the maze of moon noodles. It changes every time someone enters. Leo tilted his head. Does it smell like macaroni? Yes, that's a safety feature, Zarnuk nodded. As they stepped inside, the noodles shifted with a soft squish, and the walls closed behind them. A floating head with big eyes and a curly mustache popped out of the air. Who dares enter my maze? It boomed, then coughed. Sorry, too loud. Ahem, who dares enter my maze? Leo gulped. We do? I'm Leo, this is Zarnuk. The floating head smiled. You may pass if you answer 3 riddles, but be warned, I make up the rules as I go. Zarnuk whispered. He's dramatic, but mostly harmless. First riddle, the head declared. I'm full of holes, but I hold lots of cheese. What am I? Leo thought. He squinted. Then he smiled. A net? No, wait, Swiss cheese. Correct. The head cheered. Also delicious. Next. Riddle 2. What can you catch but never throw? Leo scratched his head. A cold? Yes, the head said. Though I recommend spacesuit for that. Final riddle. The head twirled. I go up but never down. What am I? Leo paused. Up but never down? Oh, your age. The floating head gasped. Brilliant. You are the riddle king. The noodles parted and a golden path opened. At the end of the path sat a glowing, swirling crystal in a floating bubble. The first star crystal, Zarnuk shouted. Leo stepped forward carefully, reached out, and pop! The bubble opened gently. The crystal floated into his hands, warm and buzzing like a happy bee. 1 down, 2 to go, Leo said proudly. Zarnuk bounced with excitement. You did it, Captain Leo! They high-fived and marched out of the maze, ready for the next adventure. In the sky above them, a little more light flickered back to life. Chapter 5. Leo and Zarnuk stood proudly, holding the last glowing star crystal. They had climbed the crystal mountain, helped a space turtle find her glasses, and even danced their way through the valley of wobble blobs. Now all 3 star crystals were shining bright in Zarnuk's rocket ship. The lights on Glimmeron were twinkling again. Trees giggled, the sky sparkled. Ice cream machines everywhere were humming with joy. You did it, Captain Leo! Zarnuk cheered, doing a wiggly happy dance. You saved my planet! Leo smiled and looked up at the glowing sky. That was amazing. I wish I could stay. Zarnuk's smile wobbled just a little. I wish you could too, but it's time to go home. Human kids need sleep. And also, breakfast. Leo nodded. Can I come back someday? Zarnuk zipped up Leo's backpack and said, Maybe. Dreams are funny like that. They like to visit again when you least expect it. They climbed into the rocket, which purred like a sleepy cat. The stars outside waved goodbye as the ship zoomed back toward Earth. Leo sat quietly in his seat, the star crystals tucked safely in their special case. He yawned. The ship began to slow down. Zarnook turned to him. "Close your eyes, Captain. You'll be back in your bed before you know it." Leo yawned again, eyes drooping. "Okay, Zarnook, thank you." His head leaned back against the squishy seat. He felt warm, safe, and just a little bit floaty. Leo opened his eyes. He was in his bed. The stars on his ceiling glowed softly. His backpack sat by the door. Everything was just as he'd left it. Was it a dream? He sat up and noticed something sparkly on his windowsill. A tiny piece of crystal. He picked it up, smiled, and whispered, "Maybe not." Then he looked out the window and grinned. The stars were still out there. And he was still going to be an astronaut one day. But first, pancakes.